My name is Lailah Rose, and this is my podcast, Tell Me How You Really Feel. I am talking today about choice, and the topic is your superpower. Your superpower is choice. When I think about choice, I think about choice running parallel with purpose. And I know that may sound weird or it may make sense to some of you, but the way I think about that is with it running parallel to purpose. If you believe that we are here for a reason, if you believe that you have a purpose in life, if you believe that there's a destiny, out there for you, if you believe those things, then your choices are going to impact that directly. When it comes to purpose, I don't mean purpose like a career goal or purpose like, you want to win the lottery or you want to, I want to be a superstar. I don't mean purpose in that way. When I mean purpose, I mean what makes you happy, what brings you joy, what makes you be the best self that you can be every day. That's what I mean, because I believe ultimately the goal is to find joy. The goal is to be happy. So whatever that looks like, which that could be different for everybody, but whatever that may look like, that's what I see purpose as, if that makes sense. So when I talk about purpose, I'm talking about it from, that perspective. So let me take a little sip. My throat's a little dry. And I know you guys can see I am taping from a different location today. It's supposed to storm, and I just figured better safe than sorry. So I'm posted up in my little reading nook. And that's where I am, and that's why I'll probably be outside in the next, couple of weeks or whatever, or next week, who knows. We'll see. But anywho, back to the topic. So, choice. So when I think about choice, I just think about power. I think about being able to decide, what your next moments look like. And I do know, a disclaimer, I do know that sometimes your choices can be taken away from you. I understand that certain circumstances are beyond our control. I understand, bad things happen, to good people, and there was absolutely nothing you could do about it. So I understand all of that with that disclaimer. But on the other side of that, you still have a choice in how you respond to those things. And that's where the power comes in. Yes, that may have happened, but what did you do to get yourself back on track to your purpose? And meaning your purpose, meaning however you find joy, whatever brings you the most happiness. And you can't blame your happiness or your unhappiness on anybody but yourself, because if there is something that is making you unhappy, you still have the right to choose. And you don't have to give anyone an explanation. Now, it's nice to, if you want, to help whomever or whatever the situation may be, find closure, and you want to make sure you tie it up in a nice bow. Yes, you can explain away why you choose to do what's best for you, but what's best for you is what's best for you. Now, I'm not talking about people making choices, going out here to hurt people or intentionally, or out here kicking kittens or anything like that. Like, those are terrible choices. There are bad choices as well. And just like good choices and bad choices, there could be good consequences and bad consequences. I know when people hear the word consequence, they automatically associate that with something negative. But I believe that consequence can go either way. I believe in karma. If you give good energy, you'll get good energy, back in return. So, if we make good choices, hopefully, those choices put us in a position that we can fulfill our purpose, our destiny, and the desires of our hearts. Because sometimes we can get off track. And I think that if we go down a path of making bad choices, it doesn't mean that our purpose or whatever our goal is thrown out the window. It means that you just may be taking the long route around. but maybe that's the time for you to consider making better choices. Tomorrow is always a new day. The next moment is a new moment. You can decide at any given time what you want your life to look like and start taking steps to do that. So that's why I feel like it's a superpower, because it impacts everything. It impacts how we feel. It impacts how we move. It impacts our relationships. It impacts, our day-to-day lives. So when we go out here and we're making choices, if we make them with the thought in mind, hey, this is going to have some effect on my outcomes going forward, whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, or in the next 10 years. All of our decisions and choices have a ripple effect. So we should make a conscious effort, to make good choices when we can. So what do you guys think about that? And let me see, I'm going to check some comments real quick. And I see that my hubby is watching. Hey, baby. I see Treasure is watching. Hi, Treasure. I also see, I think I saw my mom and my sister-in-law, Phoebe. Thank you guys for being here. So, let me see here. No comments yet. But I did read something the other day when I was thinking about this topic tonight, and it struck a chord with me because it's nothing but the truth to me now. Like I said before, I am no expert. I'm still trying to figure out this thing called life. Every day, something new presents itself. Every day we have to make choices and decisions, for our lives and the people, that we care about. But you also have to believe, and this is what I read, believe what you are being shown. A lot of times people have situations or circumstances that happen in their life, and they try to excuse it or explain it away or justify it or make it make sense. But sometimes it just is what it is, and you need to make a choice based on what you're being shown. So what I read was, believe what you're being shown. No, you're not tripping. You are not doing too much, and your mind is not playing tricks on you. The choice is yours. So when you see someone treating you a certain way, or you see something around you happening in a way that doesn't feel good to your spirit, doesn't feel good to who you are, makes you feel a certain kind of way, you might want to re-examine, what's actually going on. Like in the literal sense. Like, of course, you can kind of, get deeper, and sometimes things just are what they are. It is what it is, and we need to believe that. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. When something shows you what it is, believe it. And base your choices on those things. Now, there are things that do require, maybe a little bit more examination, but even in that, you still at some point are going to have to make a choice. So, that's my spiel on choices. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think about what I just said and how I feel that choice is your superpower? Or have you made, some hard choices or something that changed, your path or made your life, a lot easier that you would like to share with those who are watching? Just, throw it in the comment section, and, people may, comment on it, or it may help somebody else. Or if you have a question or need some clarification on something I just said, feel free to pop it in there, or, join on video. Don't be scared. We just people. We are just people, and, this is a judgment-free zone, and I am always happy, to hear other perspectives. So I think we have a comment. Let me see. 1 second, I'm going to read it from my phone. Let's see. All right. So sometimes people delay their choices out of fear. That's what my mom said. Sometimes people delay their choices out of fear. That's absolutely true. Fear of the unknown, fear of what's on the other side of that decision. But when I think about that, I think about when people, say, hard or easy choices, right? And a lot of people say the hard choice is usually the right choice. And when I bring that back around to how I feel about purpose and choice being parallel, sometimes the hard choice that you think in that moment is the hard choice may be the shortest path to your purpose. Sometimes the easy choice, it might be easier now, but it may be taking you the long route to get back to where you need to be. So, even though sometimes we're afraid of making the wrong choice, even though sometimes, we don't know what's on the other side of that choice, what we do need to know is that we need to trust ourselves. We need to trust ourselves that in the moments that you're not sure if you'll make the right choice, because the goal is not to be perfect. That's the thing. I think that's the whole point in all of this. The goal is not to be perfect. It's to make your own choice, trusting that your intuition and knowing all that you know, that you can take care of yourself regardless of the outcome. That's how I feel about it. You have to trust all that you are. If you desire to be a good person and you're doing things with the right intent, with no malicious, type of thing in your heart or in your mind, if you know the decisions that you're making, are for, the betterment of your path or your future, I think, yes, you're afraid, but sometimes you just need to step out. Sometimes take the step and see what happens. Now, I say that to say you do have to take other things into consideration. You need to make sure that, your family and friends and, you're keeping people's, heart and emotions intact if you can, if it's not to your own detriment, but all of those variables matter in making choices. But let me see here. We got another comment. This is from my sister-in-law, Phoebe. Hey, Phoebe. I've always chosen to forgive rather than to hold on. Forgiveness. Whew. People have to know that forgiveness is not for the person who did something to you. Forgiveness, choosing to forgive, is for you to be able to kind of move forward with your life. Choosing to forgive is letting go of the hope that you can change the past, because we can't. Whatever happened yesterday, what happened 5 seconds ago cannot be undone. You can't unring the bells after, you make the choices. So you have to just be comfortable with that outcome. So sometimes it's just best to forgive and move forward. And that doesn't mean that you have to keep those people or that person in your life or whatever the situation may be. That just means you're just kind of letting it go, for your own good. Let's see here. I think we had some more comments, so I thought we did. Let's see. Come back in. They're not updating on my side. I apologize, people. Oh, it sucks when it's the wrong decision. Yeah, it sucks when it's the wrong decision. Absolutely. And we're going to make some bad choices. We're going to make some bad decisions. But, okay, now what? After you make that decision and you realize, okay, that was the wrong decision, probably shouldn't have done that, then what's next? What you do next is all that matters. What you do next is what either puts you back on your path for your purpose, or it keeps veering you off, somewhere. But what I always say, a bend in the road is not the end of the road unless you fail to make the turn. So when you have to, sometimes you got to veer out of the way to get back to where you need to be, it's not the end. You can get back on the right path at any moment. Sometimes it could be the next day. Sometimes it may take people 5 years to get there. But what we can't do is hold on to what could have been, because we unfortunately can't change it. So that's my thoughts on that. But yeah, those are some great comments. Great comments. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. Yep, and they do. Sometimes those decisions absolutely have a long-term impact. So that's why I say we really have to be more mindful of the choices that we make and the things that they impact. Because like I said, karma, I believe in karma. I'm not telling anybody else what to believe, because I don't believe in that either. But I believe that, you reap what you sow, good or bad. And if we want to receive positive energy, if we want to receive, good people in our lives, if we want to receive, love, compassion, understanding, empathy, all of those things, we have to put that out there. And all of us, including myself, can do a better job of that. There are several characteristics that I just listed that I am definitely still a work in progress. And we have to understand that too. We have to know that we are a work in progress, and that sometimes we're not going to get it right. Sometimes we're going to take the long route. Sometimes we're going to, deal with things longer than we should. But once you realize that, the next moment, it still belongs to you. The next moment, your superpower kicks in. The next moment, you can make a new choice. You can change whatever you want to change, when you want to change it, regardless of who it upsets. Now, I'm not talking about hurting people intentionally. I'm not talking about being malicious. I'm talking about sometimes you have to save yourself. Sometimes it's okay to be selfish if it is inflicting you pain, or if it's taking you out of where you want to be, out of, that line to your joy, to your peace, to your happiness. Sometimes you have to sacrifice some things to get back to where you need to be, because ultimately your life is your life to live, and it is no one else's responsibility except for yours when you become of age to make decisions for yourself. So I'm going to check these comments again real quick. Y'all tell me what you think about that. So let's see here. One moment. All right. Yeah, choice. My mom is saying choice is not a casual decision. You have to determine what is motivating your choice. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I say you have to really try to figure out what it is that you want. Like, what's the end game? Like, what's the goal? That's what your purpose is. Like, where do you want to be at the end of all of this? How do you get there with having the least amount of regrets? At the end of it all, when you get to look back on your life and you get to think about the people you've impacted, the things you've done, the life you've lived, you want to look back on those things with the least amount of regret. Now, with that being said, tomorrow's a new day. Get back on track. Start making better choices. Re-examine some of the choices you made so you don't make them again in the future. So I think we got another comment. 1 second. And I know I have to keep looking down. I can't see my screen from that far, so I have to check the comments on my phone, so forgive me. All right. But yes, my mother agreed, and Phoebe, blessed are the flexible, for they will not be bent out of shape. A word, a whole word. Absolutely. You have to be flexible. And like I said, purpose is fluid. Purpose can change at any given moment. You can decide that, hey, what I thought I wanted, I don't really want that no more. So I'm going to go, this direction. Or even that can come with a career, that can be with relationships, friendships, all those different things. Of course, there's some things we just can't change. They become part of our lives and part of who we are. And we need to, those things that are attached to us and our choices directly impact. We definitely have to take those things into consideration, when we have, people that we love and that love us. But ultimately, when you're making these decisions, you know, for you, your family, your friends, or whatever, as long as you're doing it, you know, with the right intent, as long as you're doing it with, like my mom said, the right motivation, when you look back on that later, you know, you should be satisfied, you know, with the choice you made, and hopefully, you know, it was the right choice. So, yeah. So let's see here. Just checking on y'all again. Okay. So, what time is it? It's about, let me see. It's almost 7 o'clock. We've been here for about a half an hour. So yeah. You know, that's how I feel about choice. I'm just looking here. You know, take, you know, a few notes, you know, before, you know, my shows and stuff. I just want to make sure that my thoughts are translating well, and that, you know, I'm making sure that, you know, how I feel is getting across. And I also want to make sure that I'm answering your questions. So if you have a question or a comment and I maybe wasn't clear, let me know. Let me know. Let me see. Oh, that was something else I read this week too. I read some good stuff this week, y'all. Like, stuff was just popping up, and I was like, yes, yes. So, this is what I read. You can't control how other people receive your energy. Anything you do or say will get filtered through their lens. Whatever they are going through at the moment, which is not about you, just keep doing your thing with as much integrity and love as possible. And that's the choice. Making sure you can't control what anybody else around you is doing. You can't control what anybody decides to do to you. You just can't. Unfortunately, that's just not how this thing works. But what you can control is you. What you can control is how you respond to it. What you can control is your choice. So you just got to do what you got to do to make sure, you know, that you stay whole and you stay intact. Because when you're whole and you're intact and your cup is full because, you know, you're doing things the right way and you're getting good energy and things are flowing, you can give that to other people. That's infectious. Happiness, joy, and peace are infectious. And when we start making good choices and we start feeling good about what we're doing and we start feeling good about the life we're living and the people we're impacting, and how can you not rub off on other people? And when you rub off that good energy on other people, they rub off on other people and they rub off on other people. And we are slowly, one person at a time, making this world a better place. And that's the goal. I want a happy place with kind people and, you know, people who have, you know, the, you know, best wishes for other people and hopes and dreams, because, you know, lighting somebody else's candle does not diminish yours. It doesn't. It just doesn't work that way, you know. So, you know, keep shining bright. Try to make those choices so that you feel good about who you are. When you're making good choices, you feel good about you, you know, and it impacts the way you move every day. It impacts your light. It impacts your glow. It impacts all of that, you know. So, you know, that's what I think about choice. And that's why I feel like your superpower, one more time, is choice. It affects every single thing. It is a big deal. And it is something to be used wisely. You know, you need, what they say, with great power, you know, comes great responsibility. So, you know, that's a power. And you are responsible for how you use it, you know, and how you influence other people to use theirs. So, let me see here, 1 second. All right. Just checking comments, y'all. I had a few more come through. Hey, Spark. Hey, Lynn. Hey, Tay. All right. So, good. And my biggest fan, so I will make sure I'm whole first. Yes, yes, you have to be your biggest fan. Absolutely, Lynn. All right. So true. When you are at peace, you give off peace. Yes, Mom, you absolutely do. You absolutely do. So, you know, that's my goal. I just want to be happy. I just want to have joy in my heart. I want to, you know, be that for other people, you know, and not in a way that's, you know, weird or just, you know, I'm not the most bubbly person, you know, I'm not a morning person. I'm not out here, you know, cutting cartwheels and just singing, you know, with the birds every day. You know, I do sit outside and watch the birds every day, but that's neither here nor there. But no, I'm not always in a good mood. But when, you know, I can affect people, or when, you know, I have the desire, you know, to get out here and be amongst other human beings, I want to bring my best self. You know, if I'm not in the mood to be bothered, then I shouldn't be bothered. I shouldn't rub that energy off on the other people. That's a choice too. You know, you go out here in a bad mood and now you're, you know, making choices because of how you're feeling, and you don't know what that ripple is doing to people. You know, sometimes I do silly things, and my mom and my husband, they think I'm silly. And I've said this before, and people, you know, think I'm joking. I was like, you never know what you're doing, what smile you give someone that could be saving their life. Sometimes them laughing at you, they could have been at their lowest moment, and that laugh bought them one more day. Stop taking yourself so seriously. Yes, make good choices, but go out here and be a light in the world when you can. Go out here and stop caring so much what other people think. If you're making the right choices for you, and you're out here trying to be the best person you can be with dignity and integrity, you've done the job. I mean, that's the goal. And in the process, you're going to put yourself on that parallel path to what gives you joy and happiness, because, you know, when you give out good things, they come back to you. One more time, I mean, I can't say it enough. Can't say it enough. So watch the energy, you know, you keep around you, but also watch the energy that you carry. You know, so, but let me see here. Any other comments? They just kind of rolling in. I'm just making sure I get everybody's. And, you know, it can be funny sometimes. I may not get to see them on here right now, but if I see them later, I'll be sure to comment on them. So my apologies. You know, sometimes it just doesn't roll the way I need it to. So, but let me see here. Oh, hey, Lynn again. She said, I say that all the time. You never know how something as small as a hello or even a passing smile can make a difference in the lives of others. Absolutely. And no, we can't be doing that every day. I get it. I'm not the most approachable person when I'm out. I don't walk around with a big smile plastered on my face all day. But I'm not going out here just giving off bad energy either. You can kind of be in a little, if you can't be bothered, you know, you don't have to be rude. You know, and that's something that I've learned. You know, you can make a choice to not be rude. Sometimes it's just fine to not say anything, which is a hard lesson for a lot of us to learn, and a lesson that we have to remind ourselves of every day. Me included. I am super guilty. So, transparent moment. Super guilty. I have not arrived. You know, and none of us have. And if you have arrived, then I guess it's time for you to go ahead and check out, because there's nothing else for you to do. Because if you stop growing, then you might as well, I mean, you can fill in the blank. You know what I'm saying? Because you have never arrived. There's always a way to be better. There's always something to learn. There's always better choices to make. So, all right. Let's see here. Do we have anything else? All right, let's see. And like I said, sometimes the comments are delayed. So yes, check out Lynn. I mean, hey, I mean, if you ain't growing, I mean, think about a plant. If once it stops, you know, growing and thriving and, you know, doing what it needs to do, usually it dies. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean that in a negative sense, and I don't mean that in a literal way, but your spirit does. If you're not trying to constantly learn and feed it and, you know, do things for your mind and your body and even just the energy that you give, you know, then you stopped. And growth is a natural process, especially in a positive way. You should always want to be better, I would hope, you know. But if you stop doing that, if you stop trying to learn, grow, and be a better person, that's intentional. Because our just everyday, our environments and the people we see and meet and talk to and interact with every day are going to influence us some way or another. It impacts who we become, you know, every day. So if you intentionally deciding, hey, I don't care what nobody else doing, this me and I'm going to stay me, that whole this me, take it or leave it, okay, that's fine. But you're literally just existing. You're not living. And what fun is that? But if that makes you happy, if that's your purpose, rock on with your bad self. I cannot tell you how to live, and no one else can. If that's your choice, that's your choice. You know, that's what you chose to do with your superpower. So, all right. Let's see. And I'm going to wrap this up soon, y'all. I know I've been talking a long time. Yeah, absolutely. There's a difference between existing and living. Absolutely. And how about get help? Yeah, if you just, I can't say enough about that. If you don't have the tools in your toolbox based on, you know, how you grew up, you know, childhood trauma, you know, whatever the case may be, the environment in which you were in molded who you are. And if you're at a place in your life and you have like emotional and physical baggage, you know, whatever's happened that made you who you are today, if it doesn't feel good, if you get tired of carrying that weight, and you're not tired till you're tired. I mean, if you want to carry that bag, you know, for 20 years, if you want to carry that bag for 5 years, if you want to say carry that bag however long, at any moment, you can decide to put that bag down and go figure out what you need to do to get that in check. You don't have to carry that bag a moment longer than you want to. That's your choice, your superpower. You don't have to carry it longer than you want to. And nobody can make you carry it. You know what I'm saying? Outside of someone literally forcing you, you know, to stay or do something that you don't want to do, you always can make a choice for something different tomorrow or the next moment. You know? I mean, you can decide at any given moment to change your life, to change how you feel about what it is you're doing, you know, to get back on that path, to get back on that shortcut, to get back on just that regular road back to your purpose, your happiness, your joy, your peace. So, with that being said, let me check out these comments one more time, and I'm going to wrap it up. Let me see here. So, yeah, I think I have wrapped up all the comments. Got some agrees and some yeps. I'm glad you guys, you know, understand what I'm trying to say. Like I said, I have not arrived. I am no expert in this thing called life. I'm just kind of figuring it out as I go. And it feels good to me, you know, when I'm on, you know, my proper path. So I figured I'd share with you. You know, and I appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts with me. And it looks like I got one more comment, so let me read that. And then, let me see here. 1 second. Yes, Mom, I just saw your comment where you said emotional and physical abuse creates a stagnation in growth and choices. It absolutely does. It absolutely does. But, like they also say, knowing is half the battle. If you know you've had those experiences, or you know things have happened to you in your past that could be affecting your choices today, or affecting how you move, or affecting how you feel, or when you go to sleep at night, you know, you have something heavy on your heart, you don't walk light. You know, because when you're at peace and when you feel free and when you feel like, you know, you're walking in your purpose, you literally feel lighter. So if you feel heavy, you feel weighed down, sometimes you may have to, go kind of figure out why. And if you know you have some things in your history that are directly affecting that, it is your responsibility to seek the help, to figure out, the tools you need in your toolkit to get back on track. That's a choice, but it's also your responsibility because it affects the people around you. It affects the people you claim to love. It affects, all of your interactions. It affects your everyday life. And like I said, at any given moment, you can decide to put it down. You can decide to say, hey, maybe I need to, holler at somebody to get them to help me figure out, how to feel a little bit better about my movements, my choices, and how I feel about myself. So, but yeah. But right, and Monique, you kind of just said exactly, what I just said. Seeking professional help can help you realize you can drop that baggage. Absolutely. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with, seeking professional help. I mean, whatever that looks like. When I say professional, that could be, a therapist, that could be a pastor, that could be, a longtime friend that you trust and you value their opinion. Sometimes it's just about purging. Sometimes it's just about just getting it off of you, and you feel so much lighter. Whew, So sometimes you just need to get it out, and hopefully each of you who are watching and anybody that may watch this, later on, has somebody like that in their life, or may, look into finding somebody, like either through your insurance, or if anybody who's watching, is a professional and wants to offer that help, feel free, drop your info. You know what I'm saying? Because the whole goal is to be better. The whole goal is to get into the end of this thing called life with the least amount of regrets. So, with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up with one more thing. I'm going to wrap it up with this poem is from Shel Silverstein from the book Where the Sidewalk Ends. I know a lot of you probably read that book as a child, but when I was thinking about this show, this poem came to mind, and it's short and sweet, but it gets right to the point. So here it is, The Voice. There is a voice inside of you that whispers all day long. I feel that this is right for me. I know that this is wrong. No teacher, preacher, parent, friend, or wise man can decide what's right for you. Just listen to the voice that speaks inside.